Hey, it is Bill Gross, and welcome to our EXP Realty National Mastermind Group. And we host this group every week, Mondays, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which is more relevant today because I'm in Eastern Time. I'm in New York. And I'll be in New York all this week. I'll be in Plainview in Long Island on Tuesday, hosting a meeting with people. I'll be Tuesday evening, I'll be in Times Square hosting my real estate investing Zoom. And Thursday, I'll host my Probate Weekly. Normally, it's always at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be hosting that from Times Square as well. So I'd love to have you participate in that as well if you're interested. So this week, on this class, or this meeting we do every week, I like to share one of the 11 ways that we can get real estate sales from Probate Real Estate. So let me share my screen with you real quick, and we can go ahead and get started. Where are we? No. Okay, so I will share with you that at home, I have a really nice computer all set up for this, for sharing and for running these Zoom calls. And I'm here on a laptop that I don't use it often. It's a nice enough laptop, but it's a Mac, and I'm not used to some of the nomenclature. It's a little smaller, so I'm just a little kludgy, so please forgive me if you would. But we're gonna go ahead and there we go, share the screen, and we're good to go. Okay, and let's present this so we can get this out of the way, and we are good. Okay, so I teach 11 ways to sell probate real estate, and today's
program, we're going to talk about number 8, living trust and consumer referrals. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to put in the chat box. And then we will, at the end, I'm going to go through this quickly, about 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll discuss this and then any other topics you might have as well afterwards. But feel free if you have any questions to put in the chat box. Okay, so just a quick reminder, it's not a quick fix. Probate is not a quick fix. I hear all the time, I hear probate's easier. No, it's not easier. It's a different way that if you work hard, you can make a lot of money. So you have to work hard, you have to be consistent, you have to follow up, and you have to learn and improve all the time. Those are critical in any aspect of real estate in my experience. And a little bit about myself. I've been in real estate since 1986. I've been in both mortgage and real estate. I've been experienced as a salesperson, manager, executive, and owner, so I have a little different perspective than many people. I've been probate focused 2.5 years. For 2.5 years, all my lead gen has been focused on getting more probate business. Certifications, I say I've taken them all. I've taken all that I'm aware of. I think 5 to date. I think All the Leads has the best program. And then Chad Corbett, the coach there, has broken off, creating another program that goes a little further, which is great. Mike Torres, MTI, solid. Paul Horan is the approved one in California, which is very good about the probate process. I don't know that any of them really teach you how to get business that might work in your market. They tend to be more generic national solutions. And I don't know they really work on how to get business. That's the purpose of my training. In-depth research, I would say I've read books, watched videos, podcasts, everything I can to find out about probate real estate. And experience in the courthouse. I can say I've seen more court confirmation sales in Los Angeles County over the last 2 years than any agent, attorney, or judge. I used to go every day. I see at least 1 or 2. Even a judge will get maybe 1 a week. Even an active agent would get a couple a month. But I would see probably in a month 50 or 60 sales, and did that for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And again, before we start the fundamentals, our mindset before money, you got to get your mind right. Think about, you're going to do the hard work, you're going to be successful. We have to work on that on a daily basis. I would refer you to the Zig Ziglar water pump story as a great analogy for what real estate sales looks like. There's only 2 things in business that you can use to generate business: time and or money. So either you have to be ready to invest a lot of money, which people starting out usually can't, which then means you need to invest your time. That's all you really have. I was just sharing with a friend of mine how new agents will work hard, get their first deal, and take a week vacation. I didn't take any vacation the first couple of years in real estate because I want to invest my time to where I could build a business to where I could afford to take off vacation like I am now. Real estate's a contact business. You got to talk to people one way or another. It might be you get people to call you or set appointments to call you, but at the end of the day, it's a contact business and it's a numbers game. Unless you're really good at recruiting other people to contact for you, you need to talk to people, and a lot of them. Where you come from in business is important. A lot of people probably get tripped up because they come from maybe doing expired listings or FSBOs for sale by owners, where it's all about just getting the sale. In a probate, it's a lot about helping people, whether it be helping the petitioner, the family, the attorney. There's a lot more interaction on a personal level. And then you want to be the solution to all things real estate. Critical in probate that your job is really help people with real estate problems. Title's a problem, and usually in probate's a solution. And so what's probate look like? Just a real quick recap on that. Grandma and grandpa left me a property, don't know what to do with it. It's in their name. My siblings and I are fighting over property that mom and dad left us. Number 3, property is supposed to be in a trust, but it's not. And 4, we started probate, but we got stuck with the paperwork. These are 4 common problems I get phone calls with. And the solutions are, if grandma and grandpa left you the property, you can help them get into probate and close the probate. Maybe lend them money or advance the money, maybe help them get an attorney or a service. Number 2, if you're fighting, you need an attorney, but most important, attorneys are very specialized. Just like great realtors have niches. You don't want to hire a regular probate attorney administrator for litigation. Good ones won't do it. There's litigation attorneys and there's probate attorneys, particularly in California. 3, property is supposed to be a trust, but it's not. In California, there's a process to move in a trust called the Hagstead petition. It's not cheap, but it can be done. And you can also get done more cheaply if you go the right route. And then 4th, we started probate, but got stuck. And the solution there is to help them finish the process. I spent a lot of time with people in number 4. So you can learn all those, or you can just call me if you have a scenario. I can research the situation, help you find documents, create a game plan, and figure out how to fund all that. Okay, so I teach 11 different ways to get a sale on probate. I do one every week. And today we're going to talk about number 8, which is living trust, consumer referrals. Next week, number 9, we'll talk about how to use living trust to get attorney referrals. But this week, we're going to focus specifically on consumer referrals. And I broke it out that way because I do think both of these require specific attention. I believe this is the best way for people who are experienced agents making a living but wanting to increase their business. To me, this one and next week are the most valuable for them to increase their business. If you already know how to list a property, you know how to sell a house, you've already done 8 or 10 a year, but you can't get to 15 or 20, I believe these are the tools that will help you get there. So number 1 is the resource. So you want to, hold on one second here. So you want to have a resource that you can send to your consumers about the importance of living trusts. You want to be a resource where your clients create value by knowing you and working with you. And one of them is, at least in my experience, almost everybody's better off having the property held in a living trust than holding it personally. That's so true in California. Once you get over, $300,000-$400,000, the probate gets very expensive. And the living trust is very inexpensive. So unless there's complications, 95% of people should have a living trust. So what you need to do is find a resource that you like that explains that for your clients. And that should be state specific, depending on where your clients are. And it should also be a flavor that's consistent with you. Meaning the person doing the video could be you or could be an attorney you work with. Should be a resource that can help your clients. Now, I think you need really 3 resources. You need a low cost, I call standard case. You need a medium cost that needs a little personalization. And then you want the higher value attorney who does specialized estate planning. And so really you need 3 different resources. And most of them will have a video. Some have just done a one-time video. Some are regularly doing videos and doing webinars. But you want to have those resources to be able to send to your clients to promote them to use that service. And then you want to send them the video. We talk about lower cost is like a service, like a tax Zoom. Medium is personalization, and higher value is a more personal. Now, you want to identify everybody in your database, all of your clients, all of your prospects. They're either one of 3 things. They're either yes, they have a living trust, no, they don't have a living trust and they need one, or 3, I don't know, maybe blank. But you'll go through your database and identify all your clients. Now, the easiest way is obviously just change the ones you don't know to yes and leave the rest as you don't know. And then what you want to do in your normal marketing is reach out to them to find out, either via email, social media, or if you can't reach them otherwise, calling them or texting them. But you want to get through your entire consumer database and ask them that question. So here's an overview of the program, but let me go through it specifically. Oops. I'm still working on the slides. I have to admit, I'm not very professional here. But for those who are yeses, you want to say to them, hey, I noticed, Joe, when I sold your house, or when we spoke last, or I did research on your listing, that you hold property in a living trust. Can I ask who did it for you and if you were happy with their service? Now, there's 3 possible answers I'll give you. One is, ours was done by Betty Boop, the attorney. We love, love, love Betty Boop. Second possibility is, it was done by Betty Boop, the attorney, and we hate her. We hate Betty Boop. And the third is, which is very rare, nah, I don't remember, I don't know who it is. No, we were okay with them. You're really looking for the loves and hates. Why? If they love them, I lay out the task here. You compliment that. That's great. Sounds like Betty Boop's the kind of attorney all my clients should have. Let me ask you a question. Is it okay if I was to refer other clients like you that need these services to Betty Boop? Now, if they love them, what are they likely to say? Absolutely. Love to have you refer people to Betty Boop. Here's your number. Oh, I know Betty Boop. I know her kids, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's the important step that most agents miss. We're not asking them for referrals. We're calling them to see if we can refer them business. So we call Betty Boop. Hey, Betty, I was just talking to your our mutual client, Joe Smith, homeowner. And he mentioned to me that you had done their living trust and he loved you, thought you were the greatest. I'm in real estate. I talk to people all the time that need living trusts like Joe. I'm curious, and here's the key verbiage. Do you still write living trusts? Or do you still prepare a living trust? The reason you do that is some attorneys start their career doing living trusts and then stop doing them and refer them out. Living trust is kind of like first-time home buyers in real estate. You start there and then move on to more sophisticated and more higher priced business, generally. But you might refer to somebody on your team. Same with living trusts. You want to show them that respect. You also want to show them that you understand the business when you ask that question, do you still do living trusts? They might say, yeah, we do a seminar every week, every month. Or they might say, no, I refer them out. Would you like me to refer, refer them to that guy, or do you want to give me that contact info? But here's the thing. You want to be able to refer them business. So the next step would be, hey, Joe, I'd love to, or Betty Boop attorney, I'd love to use you as my referral source. Curious, how would be best for me to send people to you? Do you have a video? Do you do a regular webinar? Many attorneys do a webinar. In pre-COVID, a lot of them had a monthly meeting in their office or a monthly meeting in a hotel room. You want to find that out. And then the last thing is, listen, if you don't mind, I'd like to get a chance to meet you. That way I'm more comfortable referring people to you. I'm curious if you're available for lunch next week or a cup of coffee, can I pop over? Now, one thing you should know, attorneys by their nature are generally willing to go out to lunch with anybody. That's kind of how they do business. They meet people at lunches and they get called all the time. They call the attorneys all the time to meet them at lunch. That's a pretty standard business. Now, I know we're in COVID, so do what's appropriate. Can you pop over for coffee? Yes. Hey, can I just pop by your office sometime next week and say, hi, I'm going to be in your area Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, or is 11 better for you? And that way, when you make the referral, I'm comfortable. When I make a referral, I'm comfortable already having met you. And they'll be fine with that, generally speaking. Now, don't make it sound like you're sneaking in to hit them up for referrals. Don't do that. In fact, your goal is to never ask them for referrals, but to refer them living trust leads. And at some point, they're going to see the benefit of working with you. Now, there's the next level. Once you have a client who works with them, your client needs copies of the deeds to give the attorney to transfer title to the trust. That's you. So you want to follow up with your client and or the attorney so that when they need those deeds, you're providing them. And then you want to offer to do that for all their clients. I don't know about you, but for me, getting a deed's no big deal. I go online, it takes a minute. I would do 100 a day. Now, I would send them to my virtual assistant to do. But if I had 100 attorneys a day asking me for deeds, I'd be doing 3 or 4 sales a day. There's a ratio there I'm glad to hit. So we want to put ourselves in that position to be offering those deeds to our clients and follow up after clients have met. Hey, I'm just following up. I know that you met with Joe and Mike. Did they end up finishing the living trust? Do you need some help with that? Can I help follow up with them on getting the paperwork done? You want to be a resource to help the attorney with business, not a pest and not asking referrals. Now, that's all if your client loves, the attorney. If they hate the attorney, oh my gosh, we use Betty Boop the attorney. She is the worst. Ouch, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. Let me ask you, how long has it been? Most attorneys tell me that you should have it reviewed every 5 years to make sure you're up to date with all the new legal challenges and problems. Have you considered having another attorney look at it and maybe rewrite it for you? And then if that's the case, take them to somebody that you refer to. So those 3 options. They love, they hate, and if they don't really care, there's not really much you can do. Okay? Now, that's if you call your client and they say they have a living trust. What if the client does not have a living trust? Well, then you have options to send them to either the cheapest, most cost-effective, middle, or highest value. So you might ask a question, have you thought about it? I'm just curious, are either you or your wife married and have prior kids? If it's a simple 1 person, 2 people, never married before, unless they own some sophisticated business, odds are a basic living trust is perfect for them. And you want to find the cheap person that does the 95%, it's done. They can always get a better one. They can always spend more money, but they need to get one done. In my experience, I'm not an attorney, but watching cases, A bad living trust is better than no living trust 95% of the time. I've had attorneys agree with me with that off the record. 95% of the time. They'll say the 5% is a problem, but that 5% problem is only when there's a lot of assets. If there's not a lot of assets, it doesn't matter. If there's just the house, it's just the house. It's a real issue when there's multiple families, multiple kids, stepkids, and all that. Divorces, big deal, but not in a standard case. Okay, so I don't see any questions. We talked about if they love them, you compliment, ask to refer, call the attorney. Again, meet with them or drop by. Ideally, take them out to lunch. Do not ever ask for referrals from the attorney. They're expecting you to just pound them for referrals, and you don't want to be that person. And I need to really redo all these charts. I'm sorry about that. We spent some time to put together, but it didn't quite come as polished as I would like to be. Okay, so wrap up. Call all your clients, people you sold houses to, people that didn't buy with you, people that didn't list with you, all your sphere. And you ask them a question. I'm curious, do you hold property in a living trust? Either you know they do or you don't know. If you know they do, I notice that you do. And then you ask for the referrals. And if they don't, ask them if they have one or not. If the answer is yes, go through the steps of the yes. And if the answer is no, say, I do find that most clients really benefit by avoiding probate and having other benefits by having a living trust. Is this something you've thought about? We'd be interested in some more information on that. I work with a great attorney who does living trust cost effectively, and I'll give you good personal advice. So that's the basic step. And there's not a lot to it if you think about it, but I think there's a lot of potential there. And those of us who are experienced agents should be contacting our Center of Influence database regularly anyhow. And I would say on this topic, once a quarter or so. The importance of living trusts, maybe you co-market with an attorney. If they have a webinar, you promote the attorney and promote your clients to attend it. Maybe you can be there. You can offer to do the deeds for all the people and in attendance. I've done that. Great resource where you can do that. Again, COVID's changed that for now, but that's going to come back in a big way. And you might want to offer to attorneys to help them by putting on those events as they ramp up their marketing. And they're going to love having your database to market to. So that's all I have as far as content on this topic. Next week, we're going to talk about how to use this specifically for attorney referrals. But this was all about how to leverage your current database, your current clients, and your current prospects. For example, if you're a brand new agent and when you're able to hold open houses again, great question. Do you have a living trust yet? Why do you ask? If they're a first-time buyer, they probably don't. But they can get one for about $600. And that will last their lifetime. And it will help them with health directives and other things as well. But they'll know the property is being trusted. But more importantly, that distinguishes you from the other buyer's agents who just care about the transaction, don't care about them and the long-term relationship. Okay, so that's all I have as far as content to provide. Hey, Jim, I see you on the call. Thank you for joining us. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead and post them here in the chat room. Raise your hand or just unmute yourself and jump right in. Nope. Not hearing any? Okay. Well, those who are on, thank you for joining. I do this call every Monday, 10 a.m. in our 10 a.m. Pacific time in our EXP workplace. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow, I do realestateinvestingzoom.com. I do that weekly Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll be doing it from New York City. And I have a New York investor to talk about out-of-state investing. All of us agents, even in California, have clients who invest in property out of state, either to move out of state or to invest out of state. And then Thursday, I do probateweekly.com every week, 4 p.m. Thursday, Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we do that as well every week. And I will be doing that from New York City, from Times Square, actually, on Thursday. We're excited about that. So thank you all for being on the call today. If you have any questions, please call, text, or email me. I'm Bill Gross, bill.gross@exprealty.com. I'm in workplace pretty regularly. Feel free to reach out to me there. Make this week your best week ever. Thanks so much, everybody.